you guys hearing this? Yep, it's one of the new updates in the 1.37 beta. Let's go ahead and hear it. Maybe windows down a bit. Oh, that is pretty promising. Let's go ahead and check out the other new features in the 1.37 beta. Let's do this. That might have been one heck of a teaser, huh? But yeah, we got lucky. I was actually waiting here for a couple of minutes till that arrived. And perfect timing. So well, that's one of the new things. One of the other things, the indicator sounds for the Lone Star is back. By the way, I am using everything vanilla, no mods in this profile. So everything that you're seeing is part of the official 1.37 beta update that got pushed last night. We'll go and check out all the other sounds and try them out as much as possible, okay? We'll do our best. But what I wanted to also try out are the new engine sounds. They overhauled them. The interior sounds, the cutting off sounds. They should have fixed that now. And that is sounding pretty good indeed. There is still like maybe a microsecond of a cut, but let's hear it better. Man, does that sound good? I like the sound of that. Yeah, still some minor issues with the cutting off, but very minimal now. And now, the rev ranges are very noticeable. You can hear the train passing through again. Yeah, the level crossing right there. It's very nice. If we close the windows, you should still hear it, but now in a very muffled, minimal sounding tone. Very realistic for feeling inside the cabin. Very nice. I like it. And I reset the sounds so that the truck exhaust volume, almost all the volumes are in the middle again, just for a baseline to see how it changes and how it sounds by default. So I put almost everything in the middle. The only thing that I toned down are the world sounds, because they're a bit too loud in my opinion, so I lowered that a bit. But yeah, other than that, looks pretty cool so far. So we'll go and take a job. We'll go ahead and hear the rest of it. What I'm pretty interested in is going inside a tunnel, going through a tunnel. I'm not sure if the route we're taking has a tunnel. It might not, but maybe even under the bridge would work. We'll have to see. But things are really taking shape, guys. So much so that SCS announced an ATS 2 stream. When was that? Is it Friday 4 p.m. CET? Something like that? And I highly suspect that is going to be the announcement for 1.37 ATS 2 release. I'm sure a lot of people have been waiting for that. Let's go ahead and open the windows a bit. There you go. Just a tad, so we hear that oomph. But yeah, things are looking pretty good. And looks like SCS has been really listening to the feedback from the community. And I love it. There might be a few more improvements, but for me particularly, this is almost or actually release quality level. Like if they release it at this level, I am pretty happy with it. We'll go and hear the rest of the nuances, but so far that is looking pretty promising indeed. You can hear, like, are those the tire sounds? When you have the window slightly open, you hear a bit of the tire sounds. When you close them, you hardly hear it. It's actually very nice. If I let go of the pedal here, if I remove cruise control, yeah, maybe what's missing are wind sounds to make it even more realistic. But this one, very nice. I'm not a huge fan of the Jake break of the Lone Star though, but maybe this is really the one. I think I'm using an was it an ISX or an X15? It's for sure a Cummins. Let's have a look. Maybe we can see the logo here, or the model here. No, it only says 525. We need more details than just engine power. Yeah. Maybe we can drive through a mechanic later. But I guess they would sound the same. I'm not sure if SCS models different sounds for those two variants, two different engines from the same manufacturer. I love how you can hear the, how do you call it, the air sounds that are not getting cut off anymore. I don't have to mute them. If you remember from the last episode when we were trying out the modded profile with Rubinicus's engine sounds, it was really good. But I had to still mute the truck effects volume because it was the air sounds getting cut off randomly. Now that hardly happens. Yeah, like that. Very smooth. It actually works. So yeah, this being the default sounds, my goodness. I'm pretty happy with this one. And now you can easily distinguish the rev range. Like when you shift up, when you shift down, you really feel that you are shifting because the sound of the revs change dramatically. Now I cannot attest to any of the accuracy, like if this sounds like the real thing. But it sounds like a truck, it sounds like a proper engine for me. I'm just not sure if it sounds like a real Lone Star or a real whichever engine is placed here. Oh, look at that guy. What I'm still wishing for though is that that cam window block feature to be implemented for track IR head tracking users. Like for me, even if the window is almost closed, I can still peek out. But if you are using that, if you're not using a head tracking software and you have the, what do you call it, the cam window block setting in the console, I showed that in the last episode, then you can actually limit yourself. I'm hearing a train passing by somewhere. I love those level crossing sounds. Super immersive, and even if you can just hear it a tiny bit, that makes the things even more realistic. You can hear it from a distance. There you go. So we are delivering 26 tons of milk from Albuquerque to Clovis. I doubt there will be a tunnel here, but regardless, we're testing it. So this is ATS vanilla, no mods, and how far they have gone, goodness, with the beta. Yeah, I still hear a few cutting off sounds, maybe a few fine tuning. Yeah, I still hear it, but mostly the other sounds, I'm pretty happy with them. And of course, it will never be perfect because the sound authenticity or the quality can also be quite subjective. So what's good for me might not be good for other people. And SCS will never find a balance that will make everybody 100% satisfied, but it should be in that ballpark where people are happy enough, and any further adjustments that they want to make, they can always turn to mods for that, for the more specific changes. This trailer I'm using, by the way, is also from the default. As I mentioned, no mods. This is the new food tanker. That's why we can only carry milk. At the moment, the only cargo available for this is milk. I'm not sure if they're planning to add some. There you go. Good. Oh yeah, even the parking brake sounds super nice. Let's go and hear that later after we load this up. Catch you guys in a bit. Yeah, all the sounds are so immersive now. Really, F mod is taking shape. Oh yeah, hear the parking brake as I release it, and as I engage it, that click. Huge fan. Very nice. And the sound of the engine itself, very raspy. I actually like it. Very gruffy. Like I mentioned, I am not an authority when it comes to accuracy, but for me, this sounds like a proper engine, so I'm happy enough with that. But yeah, it's still cutting off in the air sounds. How do you call that? When you're shifting. Sometimes not, but sometimes yes. Some more fine-tuning and we should be good. Now, it's been a while since I drove in New Mexico. I am using some tweaks though, so I don't have any mods enabled. But I am using the anti-aliasing tweak from Bang & J and Company. That's why the jagged edges are minimal. I'm using NVIDIA Profile Inspector for the better anti-aliasing management and some config options for shadows and stuff. I highlighted that in the previous video. Wombat has a full tutorial on how that works. So if anyone's interested, go and check out that previous video of mine. I think it was an ATS 2 DAF Euro 6 Grishbomb sounds plus the AA tweaks where I go through that. And thanks a lot Bang & J for pointing out that I missed a setting. He was watching my previous ATS vid and noticed that I still had low-res shadows. I think some jagged shadows or whatnot. So he reminded me of that particular parameter. And I think I've said it now. So I think now it should be looking pretty good and crisp as well. Not only the models but the shadows as well. Very nice. Now there have been a couple of new updates as well, aside from the ones we've mentioned so far. But it's a bit cryptic. So if you guys have more info on what changed, let me know. But there are stuff like data-dependent damage fines or something like that, which we're not sure if it is pertaining to the way stations. Remember, the way stations now give you a penalty if you're damaged enough. Maybe it improves that, or maybe it's a different thing altogether. It's a bit unclear at this point. But yeah, the biggest update probably is the engine sounds. I haven't tested it in other trucks, so you guys let me know in the comments if you've tried it for the W900, for the T680, for the 579, the 389. Let me know. But so far, yeah, for the Lone Star, really loving it. I guess no more barking dog indicators in the 579. They probably removed that already. But this one is actually pretty good. Really enjoying this. When I saw the update When I woke up, I was like, I cannot resist it. I have to test this. And this is why you're watching the video now. Yeah, you can hear a lot of the different sounds combining. And if you're using your headphones, then you'll hear all those little things. Let's close the windows. Get a different vibe. I also re-enabled the reverb options because I think they are fine-tuning it. And now it should be working as intended. I think it's also required, the reverb for the environment, so that you hear the cave sounds when you're in a tunnel and stuff like that. That's the newly implemented thing as well. Even going under the bridge, you should be hearing something like that. But I'm not sure how apparent it is. If, oh crap, this is where we should be going. My bad. All over the place. If like this one, is this considered under the bridge? Yeah, I think we went through a bit there. Like there was a bit more echo, but it will be more apparent if you actually go inside the tunnel. And you will be able to hear it. There are a couple of videos, if you go through the forums, you will hear how those sound, but maybe we get lucky and we get something today. We'll see. We will see. How about this one? This is a bigger looking bridge. Maybe we can find the... We can hear something here. Okay, I'll keep the engine running. You hear it? There's that small muffling sound. Like, it's hard to mimic. But imagine that in a tunnel. But yes, it's a very nice add-on, that level of detail to the sounds. Also, the traffic sounds coming from up above definitely helps. Man, it's been a while. Really miss New Mexico. To be honest, New Mexico is probably one of my... how do you say? Not really least favorite, but maybe underrated areas here in the game. I don't usually go here, don't usually drive here, except when it was new. But yeah, every time I visit, every time I do a job here, it actually feels quite nice and looks quite scenic, even if it's fully deserty. So everything looks good. And with the anti-aliasing tweaks, I mean, everything is really crisp all over until the end. Did something change there? Okay, I'm trying to see those objects that are popping up in the distance. Yeah, that's always been a problem. But I'm trying to see if something changed since then. If they still just pop up out of nowhere. Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, never mind. Never mind what I'm saying. It's still a graphic engine limitation. Maybe that's 1.38 to-do list. But right now it's still there. Lone Star in the AI now. That's something that we've been requesting as well. Hear the turbo whine, and it's very nice having this window features in it. Like when you want to listen to music or a podcast or whatever, you can close your windows and do that. Or when you want to hear the roar of the engine, you can just easily do something like that and get a much more immersive experience. So whichever way you float, whichever way you go, it works. And hear that when the windows are slightly open. Let's go and test it, just experiment how it sounds when they're fully open. You might need to cover your ears though, but just for science. That's with everything open, both sides fully open. Oh, that's nice. Hear those passing through traffic. I think they also improved that. What do you call it? The sound distance for traffic. I'm not sure what that meant, but I'm guessing that they can customize now how loud and how far each of these sounds can travel and how far you can hear them from. Something along those lines. But yeah, maybe what's missing in this case are the wind sounds, huh? Maybe that's the missing ingredient with opened windows. Anyway, my favorite so far is windows closed. Is nice for the muffled sound, but overall I like it a bit open. So like I get the best of both worlds. Not that loud, but I hear all the traffic sounds, all the environmental sounds and everything. And it's all very realistic. Oh, I like this. Man, this is why I am confident that when 1.37 is released, we can do a Convoy. Because when 1.37 is released and when Truckers MP supports it, that means we can do a Convoy and still have amazing sounds. That's one of my reservations with MP, that you can't use mods. And without mods, the sounds were pretty lackluster before. But now they're really making it a point to upgrade those sounds, and it's really taking shape. So I'm really enjoying this. And you can look forward to when 1.37 releases in ETS or ATS, depending on which one. I'm open to either one. We'll plan Convoy, and we'll go and hear those sounds in MP. I've been getting a couple of Convoy requests, and I am missing hanging out with you guys and going places together. Screwing up together, maybe, is the proper term. Yeah, not the best jake brake sounds, but that might have something to do with the engine itself. You can't all have Detroit Diesel jake brake level sounds. Just not my favorite. Where did that guy come from? Well, I didn't see him. He smashed into me. Are we close? I think we're close. Looking good. Although in vanilla you can definitely feel the lack of traffic, huh? That's where mods come in, or maybe just set the G traffic setting to a higher number. Because right, like this one, it really feels like a desert. But maybe it's like this in real life, I know. Not many cars when you go through these roads like this. You have this a lot in the US, right? I see that a lot in the movies, in the series. In Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. Isn't that in New Mexico? Albuquerque? This definitely feels like a Breaking Bad scene. What's that chicken fast food place? Something at Mano? Polo? It's a very nice series. That's Mrs. Clumsy's favorite series. And yeah, I can imagine. I can half imagine like the guys out there in the desert having a shovel or something, doing some not so legal stuff. 30? That came out of nowhere, or maybe I just wasn't looking hard enough. Let's not get caught speeding, because now there is an upgraded speeding violation. The farther away you are from the speed limit, the bigger the penalty. Hear that? Hear that echoey sound under the bridge? Very nice, right? I like it. It's a very subtle change, but very welcome. Let's go and turn left here. I think I let this guy go. I haven't tested the retarder sounds yet. I think it's in the US, retarder sounds aren't really that much of a thing, right? I think the newer trucks do have it, but I think jake brakes are still the way to go. At least the cooler way to go, at least. The louder the better. Let's go and try it out. You can kind of hear the whining, not as loud, but it's there. I'm sure we'll be able to test that better in ATS 2. But yeah, speaking of ATS 2, I know you guys are looking forward to 1.37 for ATS 2. I'm just hoping that they have already finished tuning the engine sounds for the trucks in Europe. Because if people were picky in ATS, my goodness, you can imagine how picky they will be when it comes to ATS 2, where we have more people, more players in there, more hardcore fans. But I'm sure that SCS will find a way to make it work, so hang tight, and I'm expecting that stream from SCS on Friday is going to be all about 1.37 beta for ATS 2. Don't quote me on that though, but that's my fearless forecast. And I think it's a pretty safe assumption. ATS has been in beta for quite some time, and they've learned a lot from the feedback from the users and from the trial and error, the tests that they've been doing. So I think they're ready for an ATS 2 beta. What are these guys doing? Ah, resting. I thought there was traffic. Okay. Ooh, train. Should be hearing the train a bit. Let's open our right window. Oh, it's too weak. Because it does have its own sounds now, the trains. And they are very immersive, although they're not that loud. But you can hear it passing through the rails and everything. And the loco, you can hear the engine a bit. But looks like it's not loud enough yet there. I'm guessing but on that distance in real life, you should be hearing it properly. Maybe you need to tweak the volume or the distance for that train sound. But I'm sure if SCS doesn't do it, I mean, it's good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. Drive Safely will make it work for us. We will tweak all those sounds and add those realistic sounds even more. Look at this guy, UDS, trying to overtake. That logo looks familiar. But man, imagine this. Last episode, I was already in my modded profile, and you guys know I love mods, but that's just how big the updates are currently in 1.37 beta, that I was willing to go back to vanilla to test them out fully. So it's like, that is the intensity of it. So yeah, this is a big thing for the vanilla folks, for the default content. And it's nice to see that SCS is really working hard on perfecting the sounds and all the other adjustments that the people have been requesting for. What is that? Clovis. You guys probably told me about that. Some historical jet fighter in Clovis, why it's there. But I, of course, forgot about it. I actually forgot all about this town already. I have no recollection of ever passing through here. But that's me. I think we have to turn left here. Yes. Can we hear him if we open our window? Yeah, we can hear his engine idling as well. Oh, it's our turn. Yeah, still getting cutoffs. And somehow, it's actually a bit worse now if you go to automatic. Right now, I'm using manual. But maybe it depends on the transmission. Just a few more tweaks, guys. Remove those cutting off sounds and we are good for release, in my opinion. There it is. That's where we're parking. Oh my goodness. That's not going to be pretty easy. Maybe we can just go through here and reverse into that place. It'll be a bit tricky. At least we get to hear those booming sounds. Let's go and open this. Open our windows so I can peek out. Roleplay it. Wow, hear that engine roar. This side we're good. I think we need to turn a bit sharper. Deliver all that milk. That looks good so far. Yes. Let's go ahead and straighten it a bit. That's one leg done. Thank goodness these stacks from the Lone Star aren't as humongous as the W900s. That when you peek out, you can actually still see something. In the W900, you had to press 5 to go to this view, so you can see something. Yeah, this here don't need that. You can just peek out. I think I didn't turn early enough. But maybe we can still catch it up. We do have space here. That looks good. Let's go ahead and even it out. This side we are looking good. That's a bit too much. Let's adjust. Oh, don't hit this. Am I stuck? Oh crap. It's not good. Engine died on me. There we go. Went a bit over. Maybe we can catch it on this other side. Not going to be the best parking, but I can take it. If it allows me, that is. Is that good enough? There we go. Actually worked. I'll take that. I love that parking brake setting sound. Okay, let's close the windows. Alright. Short and sweet episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. And yeah, go and check out the vanilla. It is leaps and bounds better than when the beta first started. A few more adjustments and we should be good for release. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think, and if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like, comment, share. and all that stuff. Okay, thanks for watching, have a nice day, and catch you in the next episode, guys. Clumsy trucking, and bye bye.